You're listening to Kizuki, the podcast. I'm Mae Yoshikawa, and I define the Japanese concept of kizuki as the following. Kizuki 1. A moment of epiphany, an aha of realization or insight which opens the knower to a new dimension of truth that was formerly unknown. 2. Steps in an incremental growth of awareness, resulting in a movement from ignorance to greater awareness of the bigger picture. A kind of knowing that cannot be undone, that cannot be unrealized. As a longtime yoga and meditation practitioner, a world traveler and curious self-explorer, I'm obsessed with kizukis. Listen on each week for inspiring and enlightening stories that may just tip you over for your next aha. On this week's episode, the one who slips and the one who sees. This is a follow-up episode on my last one, The Slow Death of the Doer. Because I think I'm liking this slow motion, step-by-step narrative explanation thing. You know, my meditation teacher's only direction he ever gave me was just 2 words. Just observe. And you hear it all the time. Many spiritual teachings and even life coaches that might tell you to surrender. Sounds simple, right? But what about in practice? Therefore, once again, I want to dive in and talk about what happens in the process of just observing, slow-mo style. What does it feel like for us in the process? You know, for the doer. The tender precipice crossing the threshold to true surrender of the small self, the doer. Because, let's face it, some days, well, maybe a lot of days, the jittery thoughts just set in. The voice that comes in and says, "You're behind, May. What if you fall behind? You're not doing enough. If you stop pushing, everything will fall apart." Yada, yada, yada. That voice used to control my life because I thought it was me. I thought it was true. But now, I'm recognizing it for what it is. It's a scared protector voice, a relic from years of gripping and surviving. Now, the real shift is this. I don't silence it. I don't negate it. I don't fight it. And I certainly don't shame that voice. And at the same time, I don't give it the wheel anymore. I just meet it in kizuki, in neutrality, in awareness, in pure seeing. That's something I often like to say, but it sounds so plain that it gets overlooked. The fact that kizuki, the aha moment, the pure seeing in awareness, is neutral. In that moment of awareness, we're not judging what's right or what's better or what's worse. It's just a clear, neutral seeing of what is. What is. And that plainness of neutrality is actually because it's so open to any and all possibilities. Nothing is negated that you can then prefer, or you can then choose what you prefer. All right, so here's the thing. Just recently, I had one of those. A day when I felt unmoored, tender, vulnerable, like there was this frustration going on in my mind. In the past, I would have scrambled. What's wrong with me? Why isn't this happening? What can I fix? How do I stop this feeling? But this time, I met it in kizuki. And although the neutrality is neutral and transparent and plain and quiet that way, in a subtle way, it felt a little stronger, more established in me. So it was like I was grounded in that awareness, and I could notice, oh, here it is, my old self's go-to self-talk. I found myself recognizing that that part of me is just scared, like a scared child. Not logically because of the way things are looking on the outside, but more out of a conditioned habit to try to protect myself from being hurt again. So instead of going with that scared thought, like I have hundreds of times in the past, this time I met it. And my approach was to say, and mind you, it's not really like I'm saying it out loud in words, but it's just the energy of meeting it like, oh, of course you're scared. Acceptance. It's okay. Embracing. I want you to know that you are safe. In awareness, we are safe. I've got you. And that's such a togetherness. Instead of doing away with the scared aspects of me, I'm inviting them to come closer. Yeah, so that voice of fear, it's not really our enemy. It's like an outdated guardian doing its best. It's still trying to protect me in its own way, even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes. So I felt like it needs to be more collaborative. I invited that frightened, clinging voice, and it felt like an echo of a lifetime of believing I had to keep everything afloat. You know, there was this overexertion about it. I was tired in my own heart, like tired of being me, sort of an energy. So I recognized that it doesn't need to be silenced. It only needs to be met. Without being subject to it, however, without the habituated obedience to its drive, to its energy. So when the scared voice says, if I'm not doing, nothing will get done. It's like, I hear you, I know you're scared, and I've got you. I am aware of you, I am aware of my fears, and I am aware of my dreams and where I'm headed, and you are not alone in charge here. Fear, I hear you, and together we will choose another way, a new way forward, a higher way. So in the face of meeting these fearful aspects of ourselves, it's not rejection, it's not waging war, it's very gentle. It's introducing a loving, clear collaboration with that voice, but it's also necessary to be detached enough that you don't get pulled into that voice, like identify with it. Okay, so here's me and how I'm learning to be with that voice, the fearful aspects of myself, step by step, breakdown. Step 1, see it. Just see it in pure awareness. Ah, here she is again, the scared one. She thinks that she needs to do more, or she thinks that she's not enough. Here she is. Just see it. Step 2, feel it. Don't be afraid to feel it. Feel the fear, feel the anxiety and nervousness. Just let it pass through the body and don't merge with it, like don't identify too much with it. And this is a really tricky part because it's like embodiment, right? You want to allow a feeling just enough to let the feelings know that they are allowed in your system, and the sense of me, the sense of I, doesn't need to engage and identify with it. Step 3, speak to it kindly. Thank you. You've worked so hard to protect me from harm and to protect me from experiencing pain and suffering. You're not being fired. Let's just step closer and we can work through this together. You're being relieved of thinking that you're doing it all on your own. Step 4, don't try to fix it, just witness. Only witness. And stay here, repeat this step as many times as it takes, and don't think like, oh, I've been on this step forever. Give it this unconditional, no timeline allowance to let your fear and anxiety run its course without being hurried. I know this part takes a lot of resilience, a lot of heart, but if I can do it, so can you. Step 5, remember, life unfolds through alignment, not force. I know that for me, some of the greatest miracles in my life came when I let go of the control, not when I strive to do more. And I'm betting that you've definitely had times in your life like that. So just a remembrance here. Step 6, let action rise naturally, not compulsively. This is a little bit of a tricky one because, like I said, your nervous system is habituated to do. And this stillness is something that it's not used to. So this takes a little bit of retraining, like, don't panic, give it space, give it time, and know that I'll know what I need to do and when I need to do it when it's time. Like, I'll know. And that brings us to the trust factor. Okay, so there's this Japanese phrase, naru you ni naru. And my old yoga teacher said it, or I heard him say it to somebody else. And it was so one of those things that's like, what's that supposed to mean? Naru yo ni naru just translates as everything will happen as it happens. I suppose a little bit of a more descriptive way to say it is everything that needs to happen will happen in its own time. It's a very kind of a bland way to say, trust the flow. Things will happen as they need to. Very Asian philosophy. But it's a big reminder that it's not necessarily that we're asked to be passive, but more so that we are making our hearts, minds, and our entire systems available in our openness to who knows what the next second brings. We're making ourselves available to flow. And hey, I think we've all got to admit that that's always somehow been better than our to-do list. So for me, that's what the slow motion, step by step, just observe and just surrender looks like. Even when I forget, even when I slip into old patterns, as we covered in the last episode, at least there's no spiral of self-shaming anymore. And these are the living truths I return to. Slowly, the loops are softening. The gap between forgetting and remembering is shrinking. And this is so important. The one who thinks she must do it or do it right is beginning to dissolve. There is a dissolution of that self. And I think eventually there is no one left to resist what is. Sigh. Who knows how many times we must go through this or how long this process needs to take on our journey. But I do know this. The return is enough. The softening is beautiful. And the letting go, always feels like coming home. You're enough. You always have been. And you always, always will be. Thank you for listening. Learn more about me and my Kizuki journaling Mae method at my website, kizukijournaling.com. That's KIZUKIJOURNALING.com. Or find me on Instagram at MAEYOSHIKAWA.